Marathon is one of the most interesting shooters that I have played. The decision to have everything sort of be this ambient uh, feeling of a game without actually being a game is fascinating. Um, as you can see here, I struggled. I know a lot of people didn't struggle with the beginning, but um, I had a hard time figuring out where to go. And I've seen people crush this beginning part, but um, I struggled with things like finding doors or finding out the exact dimensions of the building. I think for me, the learning curve to Marathon was probably one of the biggest. And I don't think that anyone has has had the same experience as me. I wanted to find enemy players. I wanted to find AI that I could shoot. I really struggled to find anything. And as you can see here, I was hit by something and I didn't know what it was, and so I ended up using my healing to recover, and I tried. But I could see that there was obviously a place in the map that I was supposed to go, because obviously you're supposed to hit the objectives and you're supposed to go to these places, but um, I really struggled to play most of this game. I did like it, though. The gunplay is snappy and cool. Uh, I heard people talking about the color palette and how the game was kind of hard to read at times, and like I couldn't agree more, but I do think the take of eliminating a lot of the player boundaries is gives the player a sense of freedom. And there's a whole like really there's almost like a guess and check process to the game, where it's all kind of just like you're trying to interpret the environment the best way you can. And these enemies, you can barely see them, and that's where I really struggled. But it's okay. I had a lot of fun. And I think the gunplay's snappy, and I really like their interpretation on the sort of like sci-fi aesthetic. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed High on Life 2. I loved the art style. I loved the simple presentation. I felt like I was always clear where I was supposed to go. Instead of using yellow paint, obviously they use arrows to indicate where you're supposed to go. The game has got life and a solid sense of humor. The game knows what it wants you to do. The game directs you towards that, and the game like makes the world feel lived in. You've got this asphalt in the sky. Anytime you get hit, it pops up with a text box with red text, which is nice. It's letting you know that you're getting hit. The enemies are clearly getting hit when you hit them with projectiles, and it's got a fantastic sense of humor. Look at this. Tell me this is not funny. I played Resident Evil Requiem, and I thought it was probably the most interesting take on the franchise so far. You'll hear me use the word interesting a lot. And I think the take of just putting everything in the same room and having you experiment with it is definitely an opposition to having a more linear experience with story. What I really liked is that they just kind of dump you in there with really out any thought as to the player experience. I did struggle to learn the controls, I'll admit, a little bit. It kind of took me a while to figure out what the game was doing, but once I figured out what the game wanted from me, I enjoyed the game a lot more. The enemies are obviously difficult, but if you just spend your time dodging and making sure that you get out of the way, if you put enough bullets into the enemies, they'll obviously die. There is an interesting thing here where I found out that there's actually only a certain amount of bullets just in the game total. There's just a total amount of ammo that, when depleted, makes it so you cannot shoot any guns in the game at all. So here I'm trying to fight Nemesis, the boss. He has a cameo in Resident Evil Requiem, obviously from Resident Evil 3. I do wish they'd put more time into the environment rather than just the enemies. But when you do kill things, the ragdoll physics are, of course, great, as they always are. The UI, I felt like the minimal UI could use a little bit of help explaining to the player what's going on. Couldn't really tell how much ammo I had. And here you'll see I'm actually going to start running out of ammo. And this is actually the point where I realized that you can't fire anymore. The game just has a static amount of ammo, and you just have to figure it out. And so I tried both my pistol and my shotgun, and I ended up having to restart the game. But the best game I played by far is Stonk Baby, a game where you control things with your voice. And so here, an unedited glory is my playthrough of Stonk Baby. Ah. Hey. Ah. Mm. Oh. All right. Oh, I can't. I got stuck. There we go. Hey. I can't do it. I'm stuck. Okay. There we go. I can't do it. I can't do it.